Hey everyone, welcome to your very own deep dive.
Yes, welcome.
We're absolutely stoked to be diving into a topic that's, well, it's super relevant to your class. How to use information effectively.
I think it's a great topic.
Yeah, and we know you're all about creating awesome stuff.
That's right.
Whether it's visual art, music, videos, or killer presentations. And we're here to help you level up your skills.
Yeah, I think what's really fascinating here is this connection between finding the right information and then making the most of your time.
Right.
Those two things, they're like the dynamic duo of success,
Yeah.
especially in the creative world.
Totally. It's like having a superpower combo for your creative journey.
I like that.
So first up, let's become web detectives.
Okay.
There's a ton of information online,
Oh, yeah.
but not all of it's, gold.
Right, it's like sifting for those precious nuggets
Right.
of knowledge.
Yeah.
And the trick is to figure out if a website is worth your time before you even start reading. Think of it this way. Would this website say the same thing no matter who is reading it?
Hmm.
That's objectivity.
Okay.
It's a sign of reliable information.
Ooh, objectivity.
Yes.
So like if a movie review website is sponsored by a specific studio, that might make their reviews a little less objective.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, GCF Global, which is a great online resource,
Mm-hmm.
they stress that trustworthy websites are also based on thorough research.
Okay.
So look for sites that cite the sources, back up their claims, and avoid sweeping generalizations.
Okay. So objectivity and solid research. Those are two clues for our web detective toolkit.
Yeah, that's right.
What else should we be looking for?
Well, ask yourself, does this site actually have what I'm looking for? Is
Okay.
it relevant
Okay.
to my needs?
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you're researching the history of filmmaking,
Yeah.
a fashion blog probably isn't the best place to start.
Makes sense. Don't get sidetracked by those stylish shoes.
Right. And then consider the website's purpose.
Okay.
Is it trying to inform, to sell, to persuade, or to entertain?
Mm-hmm.
That can give you valuable clues about the information's reliability.
Yeah, like if I'm looking for camera reviews
Yeah.
and the website keeps trying to sell me a specific brand, I'd be a little suspicious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's all about recognizing potential biases,
Right?
hidden agendas.
Yeah.
And speaking of bias, let's talk about a really interesting example,
Okay.
the dhmo.org website.
Oh, DHMO. That's the one about dihydrogen monoxide, right?
Exactly.
Sounds super scary
It does.
until you realize it's just water.
It's just water. It's a classic case of a site that uses, scientific sounding language
Right.
to mislead people.
Yeah.
They even have a petition to ban it.
What?
It's really designed to trick you,
Wow.
and it highlights why critical thinking is so important.
Okay, so we've got relevance, purpose, and bias on our detective checklist.
Okay.
What about the author? Does it matter who wrote the stuff we're reading?
It definitely does.
Right?
Looking into the author's credentials
Right.
can help determine their credibility. Are they an expert in the field? Have they published other works? Can you find information about their background, their expertise?
So, like, if I'm reading an article about lighting techniques for film,
Huh?
I'd want to know if the author's an actual cinematographer, not just someone who likes watching movies.
Exactly.
Um,
And don't forget to check the domain.
The domain.
What does that .com or .org tell us?
Right.
Government websites, those with a .gov domain,
Yeah.
are usually reliable.
Okay.
They're subject to a lot of oversight and fact-checking.
Government oversight. That makes a lot of sense.
does.
And speaking of things that make sense, what about Wikipedia?
Oh, Wikipedia.
It's like the go-to for almost any topic.
Yeah.
But is it legit?
Ah, the Wikipedia dilemma. It's a great starting point
Yeah?
for getting a quick overview,
Okay.
but I wouldn't rely on it as your sole source
Right.
of information.
Correct.
Always check the reference.
That references, I
See where they got their information from.
Mm-hmm.
Do a little digging of your own.
Hold on. Sometimes Wikipedia is the only place I can find information on that obscure artist I'm researching.
Oh, okay.
Are you saying it's totally off limits?
Not at all. It can be super helpful for initial exploration,
Okay.
but think of it as a jumping off point.
Okay.
If the article has solid references, citations,
All right.
it can lead you to other more in-depth sources.
So it's all about being discerning
Yes.
and doing your due diligence,
That's right.
even with something as seemingly accessible as Wikipedia.
Right. And this is where fact-checking websites like Snopes and PolitiFact become your secret weapons.
Oh, okay.
They're like truth detectors
Okay.
for the internet,
Right.
especially with all the viral stuff floating around. Learn Free, another great online resource, actually suggests making fact-checking a regular habit.
Fact-checking, yeah. I once fell for a fake news story about a celebrity adopting a unicorn.
Oh, wow.
It was so embarrassing when my friends debunked it.
Yeah,
So yeah, fact-checking is key.
it is. It's all part of becoming a savvy online navigator.
Right.
And remember, even seemingly credible websites can be misleading, like that DHMO example we discussed.
Right, right.
Let's take a closer look at that.
Okay, let's unpack this DHMO thing a little further.
Mm-hmm.
The website lists all these, like, scary-sounding dangers, like it's present in acid rain and tumors.
Right.
It even plays on our fears,
Yes.
which can make it even more convincing.
Right. They use a lot of emotional language.
Yeah.
And present information in a way that's designed to alarm you.
Right, right.
Did any of you actually fall for it at first glance?
I have to admit, the first time I saw the site, I was a little freaked out.
Okay.
But then I started applying those detective questions we talked about. You know, looking at the purpose, the bias, and the lack of credible sources. And that's when the light bulb went off.
Yeah, it's a brilliant example of how easy it is to be misled if you don't engage your critical thinking skills. Now let's shift gears to another essential skill for success, especially in creative fields like yours: time management.
Oh, time
Yes.
management. Speaking of time, I know we all feel like there's never enough of it.
Yeah.
Projects, homework, hobbies, that latest game everyone's playing. How do we even begin to juggle it all?
Right.
Especially when we're trying to create, you know, cool stuff.
Right, that's where time management comes in.
Yeah.
It's like learning a new software, for editing,
Mhm.
or mastering a complex camera angle. It's a skill. You
Yeah.
can develop it. You
Yeah.
can refine it over time.
So where do we start? Do we need like a super detailed spreadsheet and a color-coded calendar?
It doesn't have to be that complicated.
Okay, good.
GCF Global suggests starting with something simple but powerful. Track your time.
Track our time, okay.
Where does it actually go?
Mm-hmm.
You might be surprised by how much time you spend on certain activities.
Okay.
Think about it like budgeting.
Okay.
You need to know where your money's going before you can make a plan to save.
Ooh, I like that analogy.
Yeah,
It's like time is our currency,
that's right.
and we need to spend it wisely.
Exactly. Once you have a clear picture
Mhm.
of your time habits,
Yeah.
you can start to identify those sneaky time wasters.
Okay.
Mm.
Are you scrolling through social media for hours
Yeah.
because you genuinely need a break? Or are you just avoiding that big project?
Ugh. Social media can be such a black hole.
Yeah.
I know I've lost countless hours to those endless scrolling sessions.
Right. And that's where delegation comes in.
Delegation. Okay.
Could someone else handle part of that group project,
Right.
freeing you up to focus on what you excel at?
Right. Okay.
Or maybe you can swap skills with a friend. You help them with their video editing. They help you with your graphic design. Skill sharing. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's like teamwork makes the dream work
Right.
and saves time, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about prioritization.
Prioritization. Okay.
What absolutely must get done first.
Mm-hmm.
Deadlines can be your friends.
Okay.
They provide structure, motivation.
Yeah.
Use them to your advantage.
Sometimes I think deadlines are the only reason I ever get anything done.
They can be great motivators even if they sometimes feel a little stressful.
Yeah.
GCFlearnfree.org offers a fantastic action plan
Right.
for time management success.
Right.
They suggest breaking down large tasks into smaller, more manageable steps.
It's like that saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Which honestly is not a mental image I need right now.
Yeah.
But I get the point.
Yeah, breaking down your big project,
Yeah.
whether it's a short film, a painting, a research paper,
Right.
can make it feel less overwhelming.
Mhm.
Think of it like creating a storyboard
Okay.
or an outline. You're essentially breaking down a complex task into manageable chunks.
So instead of staring at a blank canvas or a blank page,
Yeah,
we can focus on those like smaller steps.
exactly.
That makes it feel way less daunting.
And don't be afraid to experiment.
Okay.
Try different approaches
Right.
to find what works best for you.
Yeah. Huh?
Maybe you're an early bird who gets a burst of creative energy in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe you're a night owl who thrives on late night inspiration.
Right.
Figure out your rhythm
Okay.
and work with it,
Okay.
not against it.
So it's like personalize our time management strategies.
Yeah.
No one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. Now let's talk about multitasking.
Multitasking.
It can be tempting to try to do everything at once.
Yeah.
But it's not always the most efficient approach.
I've tried writing an essay while also watching a tutorial video and responding to texts.
Hmm.
And it just ended up being a disaster.
Yeah, multitasking can work for certain tasks,
Right.
like listening to music
Yeah.
while you sketch or paint.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if you're trying to do too many things at once, it can lead to distractions,
Right.
mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Think about those times when you've been so engrossed in a project
Yeah.
that you lose track of time.
Right.
That's when you're truly focused and productive.
Okay, so focus is key.
Yes.
And speaking of distractions, how do we deal with those, like, tempting time suckers?
Yeah.
Like social media,
Right.
video games.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fun, but they can also be major productivity killers.
It's all about balance.
Balance. Okay.
Conta Simmons, a time management expert, he pointed out in one of his videos that high school and college students spend an average of 27 hours a week on social media.
27 hours, that's like more than a full day.
It is.
I guess those memes and TikToks can really add up.
They can. It's all about setting boundaries.
Boundaries. Okay.
Schedule specific times for social media or gaming and try to stick to them.
Okay.
Think of those activities as rewards for completing your more important tasks.
Rewards. I like it. It's like giving yourself a little incentive to
Right.
stay on track.
Exactly. And remember, small changes can make a big difference.
Okay.
GCFlearnfree.org suggests some simple but effective time-saving tips like becoming an early bird.
Okay.
Even an extra hour in the morning
Right.
can set you up for success.
Okay.
Imagine finishing your homework
Yeah.
before school even starts.
Wow. Okay.
That would free up so much time for your creative pursuits.
That reminds me of that old saying, the early bird gets the worm.
Yeah,
But I'm not really a morning person. Like,
and that's totally fine.
okay, good.
The key is to find what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can dedicate a specific block of time each evening
Okay.
to focus on your creative work, or maybe you can carve out some time on the weekends to experiment with new techniques or collaborate with friends.
Right.
The important thing is to be intentional
Okay.
about how you spend your time.
So ditch the distractions.
Yeah.
Use a calendar or a planner to stay organized,
Yeah.
and maybe even try some meal prep magic to avoid those last-minute dinner dashes.
Right. It all comes down to making conscious choices
Right.
about how you spend your precious time and energy.
I'm definitely feeling inspired to, like, get my time under control.
Yeah.
This whole conversation has been like a light bulb moment.
Good.
So we've talked about judging online information and mastering time management. Why are these skills so vital for, like, aspiring artists, filmmakers, communicators like you?
It's all about setting yourselves up for success.
Right.
When you can quickly evaluate the reliability of online information,
Right.
you free up so much mental energy
Yeah.
for the things that truly matter, like brainstorming creative ideas,
Right.
experimenting with new techniques,
Yeah.
building a killer portfolio.
So it's like these two skills work together
I think so.
to boost our creative superpowers.
I love that analogy. Being informed and efficient
Right.
fuels your creative fire.
Yeah.
Helps you turn those amazing ideas into reality.
This deep dive has been packed with, like, awesome tips and insights.
It has.
But before we wrap up, we want to leave you with a little challenge.
Okay.
Think about one website evaluation technique you learned today and apply it to your next research project. Is the author credible? Does the website have a clear purpose? Are there any red flags for bias?
And while you're at it, choose one time-saving tip to implement for your next big assignment. Maybe it's setting boundaries with social media, breaking down a large task into smaller steps, or even trying out that early bird magic.
Remember, small steps lead to big results. We can't wait to see what incredible things you create.
Yes, we can't.